Hey peoples, this is another movie review of Klaus. As always, I want to say thank you for listening, that really means a lot to me, and on to the review. So Klaus, or Klaus, is another retelling of the origin of Santa Claus, except this one's really good. I've already put this movie in the list of my top 10 movies of the year so far. Of course, that list is always changing. You can go check it out on my Twitter at @ClarkKentType. It's pinned right at the top. But I really enjoyed this movie, and it's because of three things. It's the humor, the writing, and the creativeness of it, all working hand in hand, and it is amazing. You can't really talk about one without talking about the other because they're so tied into one another, and the creators of this film did a great job of it. But first off, this movie is so funny. It is so funny from beginning to end. I will say that I laughed a lot more near the first half than the second half. I think the second half has a trade-off where you get more cuteness versus the comedy in the first half, but it makes sense why there's so much comedy in the first half. There are actual written jokes, there are physical jokes, you get visual comedy. They are hitting all the layers of comedy in this movie, and it's for all ages. And I mean all ages. Yes, this is an origin story for Santa Claus, but our main character is a postman. And like I said, the jokes are for all ages, and there are a couple of jokes obviously aimed towards an older audience. And one of the examples is that he's at a building and it says post office, and then the S falls off and it says pot office. Obviously, that is not for kids. That is a grown-up joke, and it is the best. There are jokes like that throughout the film. The movie has you at the least smiling with glee from beginning to end. So if you're not laughing out loud, you're at least going to be smiling and your mouth is going to hurt. And like I said, the humor ties into the creativity of the movie. The fact that they take something that we all know of, which is the post office, and make it seem like this huge, grandiose type of facility, which it's not. Trust me, I know firsthand. But I really liked how grand they made the postal system. And I enjoy when movies do that, when they take something we all know and then just make it bigger than life. I also like the visuals of this movie. I don't know specifically what type of animation style this is. It doesn't look like your standard CG movie. It looks 2D, but I can't explain it. It's the shading and the colors they use. It just looks different than your typical animation, and I really like that. The writing in this movie is excellent, though of course you can guess what's going to happen. It's still enjoyable nonetheless. I will say that the villains of the movie seem to fizzle out at the end. They didn't get their comeuppance or some type of payback for the things they have done. So that was kind of disappointing, and I wish more things would have happened, but I let it slide because I enjoyed the rest of the film, so who cares? But back to the positives. One of my favorite commentaries this film gives you is that hatred is taught throughout generations. So our postman goes to a town where a group of people hates another group of people. And it's so relevant today. If you don't realize how relevant it is, just pay attention to any movie or news outlet or anything going on. How many race-based movies have we seen recently? How much news about the border have we seen? How many documentaries have we seen about the border and people not liking these type of people and those people not liking those type of people? It's just the current state that we live in. And that basis helps other arguments build up. And at the core of it all is just this group over here not liking this group over there, and it's all meaningless. You're just taught to hate that group of people for no apparent reason. And this movie shines a light on that, and it also makes a joke about that because they never explain why it is the way it is. They go back in history and they say, oh, we've always hated each other, but you never get an origin because no one knows. It's just a lineage of hatred that they pass on down continuously over and over and over. And that was one of my favorite things about the film. This movie also has its emotional moments at times. I cannot deny that I teared up at a couple of moments throughout this film, some sad and also some of just joy, because you see the happiness that these kids have while playing with these toys. If I had to nitpick and think of negatives, the only real negative that I had is that all of the voice acting sounded like it was in the same place, like in a studio. I never got the feeling that the characters were actually outside or inside a building. It all sounded very samey to me. I would have just liked some range in the audio. Also, some random quick questions that I'm hoping someone can answer for me. One, at the end, where did his mustache go? He grew it and then he just, shaved it off? Also, why was that lady's hair blonde at the end? Because it was definitely brown for most of the movie. So did she dye it? It's just weird that they make that decision with a main character when you're wrapping it up. Why make that character dye her hair? That didn't make any sense to me. But that's all. Please go watch this movie. This movie is so much fun, and again, it is for all ages. The creativity and visuals in this movie are great. The message is excellent, and it's something you can talk about with other people after the film. I fully enjoyed this movie, and like I said, it's in my top 10 of favorite movies of the year so far. I don't know what number I have it at, maybe number 8. You can go check on my Instagram at @ClarkKentType. Again, a Clark Kent type. But that's all, peoples. Thank you for listening. Please do me a big favor. Like, thumbs up, subscribe, retweet, comment. Love the comments. Please continue to help this channel grow. I really appreciate it. I don't know how big we can get or where I'm even aiming. I just want to keep talking about movies, and I enjoy doing that with you people. I really appreciate it. You're the best. Please have a great weekend. God bless. I'll talk to you on Monday.